Welcome to Life Force Canada. I am Karen of the family Klassen. I had a wonderful time with Doris in Medicine Hat this weekend. Her and Terry are such generous hosts and have such a beautiful home. So grateful to have the time to just relax and have amazing conversations. So yes, I did have a great weekend with them. Great to see everyone here. Oh, I need to put my chat on. Please say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're from. And please let us know if you're new here as well. I was in meditation this morning, not sure of the topic we were going to discuss this evening. And my higher self reminded me that I am to talk about my experience this weekend and to use that experience as an opportunity to educate and prepare others for similar situations. As I mentioned in my email, I was verbally and physically assaulted. So this evening, I'm going to be talking about my experience and how we need to prepare ourselves for these surprise character assassination attacks. But before we discuss, I do have a few updates. Natasha's course on homeopathic first aid and emergency class was a success yesterday, yay. Yeah. We're going to be talking about health solutions next month, so we'll definitely be bringing Natasha back for that conversation. Laura Jane and I have our Sovereign Living 2-day live event coming up on March 9th and 10th. We have members signing up from across Canada, from Vancouver Island all the way to Nova Scotia. That is incredible. I love that. Yeah. And True is going to be playing his Life Force Canada song on the weekend. So we're going to be dancing in celebration. Yeah, right? I just found that out today, so that's exciting. Thank you, Karen, for sharing the link in the chat. Yes, it's going to be a high vibe event. There has been a few members who have emailed me asking about my name and why I introduce myself in the way that I do, Karen of the family Klassen. You never want to give your legal name to a policy enforcer or in a court, as the moment you do, what happens? You are in contract, right? You've given consent. Your surname is what they're really after. So when your first name is attached to the surname, you are now attached to the person, right? To the false identity, and have stepped into Admiralty law, which makes you responsible for the debts of the person. So this is just allowing for all of us to begin to practice the separation of your first name and your surname. So we do share a lot of this information in our Sovereign Living workshop as well. Hi, Susie from Chilliwack, Lori from Vancouver, Tracy, Alberta, Danny from Calgary, Deb from Ontario, thank you. Helen, Regina. Excellent. Kitchener, Montreal, DK, thank you. Esther from Surrey. Laura from Saskatchewan. Oleg, Ontario. Alexander, BC. Natasha, Ontario, excellent. I did share with you last week about the book Project 369. I'm not too sure if you can see it with my screen in the back, but I will be sharing the book again in the newsletter coming up on Thursday. It's great to see so many of you purchasing the book. We're going to be moving through this book next month to assist us in up-leveling our frequency. It is a workbook, and you're going to have plenty of time to prepare. I'll send the link out again next week. Karen is sharing the link in the chat here as well. And we've got, if you put in the coupon code 2024, you get 20% off.
Covers the mailing.
Exactly, Laura Jane. Covers mailing. Perfect. Laura Jane, you have a few things coming up as well, right?
Yeah, Karen and Susan Briley and I met and we're planning the Take Back Your Corporate Name workshop or course for February the 10th. That's something you're not going to want to miss. We've got some great, it'll walk you through step by step on how to copyright your name and how to become a secure creditor for your corporate entity. And that is something you don't want to miss. I've learned just tons of information, but we're putting the workbook together and we are going to be recording it. And hopefully it will be turned into an online program on demand, which will be fantastic. So that's quite exciting.
That's excellent. And then you spoke on the Freedom Rising call?
Yes, on the Freedom Rising call, I was able to talk about our Sovereign Living workshop that's coming up in March. So that got through to 145 folks on that Freedom Rising. And I also presented it on Alberta Rising, which was another 50 or so within Alberta itself. So that was really good. And Doug is very supportive of a lot of what we're doing. So that's always great.
That's so great, Laura Jane. It should be posted in our newsletter by Thursday as well, so people can look into the actual course details. Okay. Teachable moment. What is a teachable moment? It's generally referred to as, an everyday situation, a learning opportunity that rises no matter what our age is. And these are moments that are spontaneous. They're unplanned situations or events that really allow us to deepen into learning more about ourselves. So I'm calling my experience of character assassination as a teachable moment. I'm not going to go into the details. However, I'll give you context of my experience, and then we'll look at why character assassination occurs and then the solutions going forward. I think it's important that I share my experience to remind you to never let anyone stop you from moving forward and committing to your soul mission. Remember, there are going to be people that hate you. There's going to be people who ignore you, don't care about you. And then there are those who love you. And you are only meant to focus on those who love you. Okay? So the more that we're moving into our light, the dark forces are going to be lashing out. The more we ascend into higher frequencies, and you need to know how to prepare yourself. This is actually the third time I've been verbally assaulted face to face. Once in 2020, where I had a friend yell at me in a restaurant for not wearing a mask. And then last summer, the landlord that I had, she was going to be going into surgery and wanted me to wear a mask in my house while she was living in a basement suite, the basement suite of the house. And I would not acquiesce. So she got really upset with me. But 3 days later, she attacked me verbally. And then again this weekend. So this is the first time, however, that I was physically attacked, which I'm going to explain. I prefer that her identity remain anonymous. I'm going to refer to her as Jane Doe. She was a friend who I thought was on the freedom side, just like us, but I found out that's not so. So I had received a vicious text cutting me down spiritually. Since I'm not a Christian, I was going to be going to hell. So I thought I really needed to have a face to face with her. So no matter how uncomfortable a situation is, I know we need to face everything and rise so that the truth can be revealed. So I met with her, and the moment I sat down, it was like this verbal machine gun pointed right at me. Thankfully, I know how to stay calm in these situations, as the divine mind conversation that I teach and I've been practicing for many, many years has prepared me to face the demons in others. And I can remain calm, I can keep eye contact, and I can let them express, no matter if I feel that they are exaggerating, they are incorrect, no matter how unkind these words are. I know all the words that Jane Doe was expressing had nothing to do with me. I know that she's a very, very unhappy woman. And I was the one who was chosen for her to vent all of her unhealed pain onto me. And as she talked, her words energetically were like venom. So she was saying everything that she could possibly say with the fullest of intentions to cut me down in all areas of my life, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And then when she attacked Life Force Canada, that was enough. I told her I did not need to tolerate this anymore. And I got up and I went to walk away. And she got up, ran over to me, grabbed my arm, pulling me, and I actually had to tell her to let go a couple of times because she was hurting my arm. And she was yelling and she'd raised her voice, very angry because I did not wear a mask in a restaurant 3 years ago. She'd been hanging on to this for 3 years. I was wowed and I could not believe what she was saying, but I had to keep walking away as I knew the energies inside of her, the demons had taken over, and there was no sense in talking with her until things had settled down. In my research in regards to defining character assassination, uh, this lashing out is often the result, of course, of frustration, of fear. These individuals are really struggling to cope, and I get that. We're going through so much right now. I was reading Psychology Today, and they stated that it's usually a deliberate attempt to destroy someone's reputation, to discredit who they are, especially by criticizing them in an unfair and dishonest way when they are not present or when they're present. And this is usually, again, to attack the credibility, to neutralize them so that they feel less than and they actually stop moving forward in their life. And again, we're seeing countless people experiencing this on all levels, especially since 2020. These people are angry at you for all sorts of reasons. One of the main reasons I find is because you remind them of where they are in the world or maybe where they're not. They do not want to hear your knowledge. They do not want to hear your dreams, your successes, your goals, and especially they do not want to experience your joy. And the questions that come up often in my coaching, since I've been coaching for 20 years, breakthrough coaching, a lot of my clients would ask, so how do I remain open? How do I remain non-defensive? How do I remain emotionally intact when someone is, unloading their anger and their guilt and shame upon me? Or how can I avoid internalizing that negativity? So I have a few solutions that I just want to share with you, and then we're going to go into a Q&A. So the first solution I share is always check in and just check in to see what they're saying is right, to honestly investigate your own behavior, because it takes a lot of courage to do this, to acknowledge that we could have acted with more awareness in a situation, or we could have done better. It's not the same as blaming or judging. We are all here working, progressing forward and becoming more aware. But if you are in a relationship or if you have a friend who is a chronic blamer, most of us have already done this kind of self-examination. And we find that the blamer frequently accuses us of intentions or actions that do not belong to us, right? They actually belong to them. The next one would be never fight back. So when someone is not kind, it's natural to want to be mean back. This is where we learn self-mastery, right? We do not engage. We do not play the blame game. And at the same time, we're not here to be a pushover either. We're here to not lower ourselves. We're not here to use the tools they use, because that will lower your frequency. This is about us maintaining our integrity and to do whatever that may be, right? So fighting back is unnecessary because it really feeds the fire. 3 is remaining calm. So if possible, this is about not engaging with the abuse, to listen and breathe. And again, it can be tough if we're not brought up in that way. But that's the best way to deal with any abusive person, since you being upset is really probably going to just escalate the whole scenario. I'm going to be taking you through a powerful process next week. It's called the Divine Mind Conversation, and it's going to show you how to respond instead of react. It's a really powerful skill set to learn and to have. And that will be next week. I will share a bit more about that later on too. So number 4 is forgiveness. The next day, Jane Doe, she did apologize. And I did forgive her. We were able to have an actual conversation. I know that forgiveness can be challenging. I know that all negative words and actions placed upon another will come back. We have to remember this. It will come back like a boomerang on them. And the consequences that are brought forth come through the divine. They will not come through you. They will come through the divine. I'm not here to judge. I let the divine take care of it. And so in knowing that, you're free to move into the energy of forgiveness, because forgiveness is one of the first steps in living above the line. Your superpower is love, and then forgiveness. That's what really helps us, empowers us to spiral up. And then, of course, 5 is walking away. In the moment of verbal abuse, when it's happening, despite your attempts to make it stop, if you have the option of physically leaving, I recommend it. Learning how to handle conflict in a healthy way is going to be key as we move forward. Learning how to have real, authentic, heart-to-heart conversations is a skill that we all need to learn. So again, if it's not a possibility, they're not open to having a dialogue from the soul, then walk away. And then 6 is setting boundaries. To maintain your mental and emotional health, you definitely need to set boundaries. It can be challenging, but no matter who it is, whether it is your spouse, a friend, a family member, you need to let them know that if they continue to blame you for everything and anything, you're going to be limiting or cutting off contact. And the important thing with boundaries that a lot of people miss out on is the follow through. What you say you're going to do is to follow through. And then next is self-care. This is so, so important. You need to let your body, mind, and soul relax after you've had such a traumatic experience. You need to give yourself a lot of self-love. Your body may be shaking, Mine was. It is a natural process for your body to shake. Your body is very intelligent. It knows how to let go of negative energy. We can't see this as something that's wrong. You're just allowing your body to shake. Water is healing. You may want to take a shower or a bath and visualize all the negative energy going down the drain. Meditate and state some positive affirmations to recharge your body. This is what my Together We Rise journey course is all about. All these steps are in there. And allow yourself to cry. Tears are the most powerful cleansing mechanism the body has. And you're not crying from a place of self-pity. You are shedding tears to cleanse your energetic system. And I really want to remind you that number 8, this is going to be a big aha for all of us when we really get the term character assassination. Who are they assassinating? In the chat, just let me know what character they are assassinating. What is character? What have we learned from the birth certificate system? Yes, Frank, it's the dead entity. It is the false identity. It's a straw man. So just think about it. It's your persona, right? The false identity. No one can attack your soul. No one can attack your divine nature. Your character is a role that you play. It's the role of a leader, role of a mother, father. It is the titles that we're all given. So the more you see how your character is not your true identity, it's going to be much easier to face others who may be abusive towards you. And this is really powerful for us to integrate this going forward. Your true identity, your divine nature cannot be attacked. It is pure consciousness. So when we can see that the ones who are attacking us, they're suffering from that personality disorder, and the true source of it is our birth certificate slave system, which has created the false self. And we feel it on a subconscious level, but because many are unaware that there is an actual system that creates a false self, people suffer with identity crisis. They're not aware of the invisible force that is causing the fragmentation. And so then our persona becomes fragmented, which is then what's created in the systems, in the sick care system, as a personality disorder. Exactly, Olga. So nobody can attack our true living essence. They can only attack your character. And this is going to really allow us to move forward in a very powerful way. Okay, so let's just open it up for a Q&A, and I would love for anyone to share, raise your hand and share solutions that you have moving forward. It's a really powerful conversation that we need to have. DK, go ahead.
I've got a number of things. In 2021, I came out on Facebook and spoke, strongly about my opinion about these so-called vaccines, and I took a lot of heat. So, what solutions do I have to offer? If you try and step outside of yourself and your ego, and you try and see that everyone, almost everyone is really doing the best that they can, given their journey and the variables of their life and what they know and what they don't know. A lot of people, of course, don't know what we know, right? So we can sort of understand where they're coming from, even though they should know better. for sure they should know better. I don't mean to marginalize their ignorance, but anyway, um, another thing you can do is if someone's uh, like challenging your character, you can separate your character from the facts. Like you can say, okay, you're saying this. What evidence do you have that X, Y, and Z is correct? Because me, I'm very like I based a lot of my stuff on research I did. So I was just like, hey, or if you don't have research, but intuitively you know that you're correct, just say, what do you think? What does your intuition, tell you? Thanks.
Thank you, DK. I know the Divine Mind conversation next week is going to be such a powerful process. I'm going to look forward to hearing your comments afterwards. Laura Jane.
Thank you. Great talk and a great example. I think we've all experienced some of this. One of the things is really for me is about perspective and then standing back and looking at it from my higher self so that I can have a better perspective of what's happening. The other thing that I just want to remind folks is that many of us are really leading the way, and we are holding a lot of light as we transform this earth. And as a result, we may attract those that we're actually help purging because we've done a lot of our own shadow work. A lot of us have been working on getting rid and purging the mind control, purging the lies that we've been taught. Um, and so when you look at someone that's really vomiting up all of their issues, it probably, or it might be one of the perspectives we can look at is that, okay, this is an opportunity for me to purge a little bit more and to make the world a little bit lighter as I move forward. So it's just a different perspective that you might want to think about. And with that, I yield. Thank you.
That is a beautiful expression, Laura Jane. I know in my experience, Jane Doe was skipping in joy after the experience with me. She was feeling a lot lighter. Thank you. Hilla, hi.
Hi, everyone. Karen, thank you. This is such an important issue to share, and I'm grateful for it coming today, very timely for me, and Michael, who is here with me too. Anyways, without getting to the personal stuff, I wanted to share this acronym, RAIN, by Tara Brach. I believe I pronounced her name okay, Brach or something like that. She's a Buddhist teacher. So the RAIN, and it's kind of similar to what you were sharing, Karen. So RAIN stands for recognize, accept, investigate, nurture. And so when we're facing a situation like that, it's important to recognize what's happening in our body and, how our body is reacting to that, even on a somatic level, like we're getting red, we're feeling hot flashes, or just be with our body and allow it to do its thing. And then embracing. So we're not in denial of what's happening. We're not trying to change it right now. We're like embracing the moment and what we feel, both physically, emotionally. And then the I stands for investigate. So once we're in a safe space with ourselves and maybe even removed from the situation, it's important to investigate. And just like you're saying, Karen, what is my part in this too? And the last letter, nurture. So find any ways that it works for us to nurture ourselves, to self-regulate, to bring ourselves back to center, to our heart. And I find it a very useful acronym and techniques. Although I remember when I was in a situation about a year ago where there was a drag queen storytelling in our neighborhood, and I stepped upstairs to the event and was attacked by police and the security people. It's kind of in the moment. You have to trust that you will know what to do. And I think practicing different methods and just strengthening our spiritual body is very helpful. And I was able to navigate that attack in a way that, although I felt like my heart was beating so fast, I felt like I'm sweating, but I was pausing and I was breathing and I was finding the right words to respond to the policeman and the security person. And I was just standing my ground as a sovereign being. I did not commit any crime. I did not do any harm. So I had all the rights to be where I was and peacefully as I was. So they kind of dissolved from my reality after a few minutes. They realized that there's nothing that they can really do. So yeah, those are very interesting and teachable moments for sure. Yeah, with that I yield. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Hella. I loved how you share RAIN. So it's recognize, accept, investigate, nurture.
Yes, by Tara Bruck.
Tara, thank you. Brilliant. Frank, go ahead.
Hey, yeah, so I was just gonna say at first, when all this stuff kind of started, I was a loose cannon. I'd bite at everyone. Again, that was me needing to grow, but I also understood that a lot of people are under mind control, right? People that watch the news all the time, people that live the 9 to 5 lifestyle, that drink the city water, that eat the processed food, that inject themselves, that do all that. So now I'm like, man, I completely comprehend their situation, and I actually feel bad. So I don't argue anymore. I smile and nod and move on. I don't even bring stuff up with the people around me that are, considered, quote unquote normal. So just, I guess, the avoidance now, picking and choosing my crowds, and the situations I put myself in wisely. But I learned to accept sometimes it's not their fault, right? They're victims of this mind control, of the city water they drink, of the crap they eat. Anyways, just wanted to mention that I accept who they are, and trying to change them will only make them see me as a crazy one. And with that, I will yield.
Thank you, Frank. Accepting them as they are. Thank you. Beautiful. Claudia.
Hi, I have two daughters. They're grown. They're in their 30s. They live about an hour away. In 2021, because I took my stance of what was going on in the world was wrong, and I didn't agree with a lot of it, and I distanced myself. So I didn't see my grandkids and my daughters for over a year. Last year, my oldest grandson from my oldest daughter wrote me a letter asking why I didn't want to be in their lives anymore, or did I want to be in their lives? And if I did, I needed to apologize to everybody. I was hurting everybody. So I wrote my youngest grandson back with love, but my explanation of why I was taking my stance and distancing myself from negativity. I would always reach out to my girls if we were traveling and through their area. We were able to connect with my oldest daughter, my mom and I, and we went to her house and we sat, and it was kind of a it was a fake conversation. So I basically said, okay, let's get down to the bottom of it, because she had injected herself and her son, who was 13, and her husband, so that they could go to the hospital and watch her father-in-law die. And my youngest daughter was mad that I did not approve and understand why my daughter made that decision. And I said, that's fine. I don't need to agree. This is my choice. You have made your choice, and with both of our choices come consequences. And my daughter unleashed hell on me. I have never, I've raised my children to be respectful, but yet speak their mind. But she used words that the vocabulary coming out of her mouth was just crazy. It went on for a minimum of a half an hour, and my mom sat quietly until my mom spoke up and said something, because I was sitting there crying. I was calm, but I was crying. And I kept saying to my daughter, I'm sorry that you're so angry. I wish you would just let go of the anger. I just wish you would move forward and we could find a way to still have a relationship. But like, no matter how calm I was, it just made her matter. So my mom finally had enough, and my mom spoke up, and my daughter turned around and basically said, Claudia's got you brainwashed. And my mom looked at my daughter and says, I'm a grown woman. Nobody has me brainwashed. I have my own opinion. This is done. We're going. At which point my mom kind of got up out of the chair, looked at me to, we're going. We're not staying no more. And my daughter, like a crazy lunatic, sprung out of her chair and raced to the door and literally sprawled arms and legs across the door and said, you're not going, we're not done. And I looked at her and I said, actually, we are done. I said, I'm not taking any more of this verbal abuse. And if you want to have a decent conversation with me, great, we can move forward. Other than that, like I'm going home, and I wish you well on your journey. And I hope that you find peace and let go of this anger, because it's going to kill you. It kind of calmed down a little bit. My mom and I went, and I kind of kept my distance. I didn't message her. I didn't text her, email, nothing. So it's been since last summer. Now my daughter's coming around and messaging me, and there is a little bit of communication happening. But I learned a long time ago, like I've started distancing myself for like 8 or more years from negative people. And I just don't react anymore. And I find that a lot of these people that are hurting, that are used to living in chaos, they need that conflict to survive. Because if they don't have the conflict, then they actually have to look at themselves, and they actually have to fix themselves, right? So anyway, that was my wonderful experience with my own child. With decisions come consequences, right? And I just will not be part of being attacked anymore. Anyway, I yield.
Thank you, Claudia. Appreciate you being here. It's so true. A lot of people need conflict to survive. I remember facilitating a relationship workshop many years ago, and there was one exercise that was designed to create peace in the relationship. And after the exercise, a woman raised her hand and said, I don't think that I will be using this exercise moving forward, because I really like arguing with my husband. And her husband, he was so wide-eyed, and he looked at her. So I get how people do not, a lot of people do not want to learn how to create peace within themselves, because they're so used to the energies of conflict moving through them. Thank you for sharing. Marianne.
Thank you all so very much. I'm in quite of a crisis here. I'm going into depression now. My brother-in-law, 74, a medical doctor, died of, he had a November, I guess 2 weeks after my birthday, he had a giant blood clot of the heart, and I got a phone call from my son. They gave him the blood thinners, and within 24 hours, he had bleed out of his brain. So what I'm facing now is February 10th. There's a celebration of life. Well, I mean, this is my sister's husband since she's 74, and I've been here and two blocks away from them for years. I haven't seen them since Mom and Dad died in 2009-10, because I just bailed out of being picked on for not using any pharmaceutical medicines, etc. And on and on and on. So anyway, I don't know. I'm grieving, and I'm so messed up, and I have to go with a whole room full of people, or they're going to worship the crap out of this guy. And he really had his heart so into saving lives. And he actually did, I had the lady in the health food store tell me in the 90s, oh, your brother-in-law refers people to me. And I thought, aha, little light bulb. But no, his wife my sister put the big pressure on him, and she didn't want to get punished by the powers that be. I haven't talked to my daughter in 5 years. My brother showed up here for the first time in 4 years and took me to dinner, and we talked about my sister, and he showed up again to tell me when the celebration of life was. I said, oh, why don't you guys pick me up? And he said, why? And I went, so I have somebody to go with. And he just kind of looked at me. It's so messed up. I'm on my own here with this. Except I think I've opened a wedge in my son's heart. I'm pretty sure he didn't jab my 5-year-old granddaughter because I'd sent them some information. It was like I was isolated for such a very long time before this shit happened, because I'm on a different planet than these guys.
Whereabouts are you living?
I'm in Comox, BC. I'm, I don't know, an hour and 3/4 north of Nanaimo on the island.
Oh, very good. I know there's a group coming from the island to our sovereign living. It'd be great if you could join them.
What, in Calgary?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been looking at that.
It'd be great to have you here. You would feel the love of sovereign family. Thank you for sharing, Marianne. We really appreciate you being here.
Thanks a lot. I really appreciate you guys. I'm here late, but it's really, I'm finding it very
Thank you.
helpful.
Sending you lots of love.
Well, thank you.
Marianne,
Oh,
Laura
yeah.
Jean, if you want to connect with me, I can connect you with the person who's putting together a little convoy to come out for the Sovereign Living.
Oh, wow. When is that? Was it April?
No, it's March 9th and 10th.
March.
Yeah.
A convoy.
Yeah, I'll put my email in the chat and you can reach out and I'll connect you with her. Okay?
Yeah, I've got your email already, I think. Yeah, thanks.
Perfect.
thanks, Sarah Jane. Frank, go ahead.
There's no arguing with these people, right? They're in their mind. And even if you tell them to don't look up like the movie there and you look up and you see people spraying, they still think you're losing it. So they're just on a different frequency, right? Even, and I know what Brian's saying, it's easy to disable, but in their mind, they'll never see it because they're running through confirmation biases. They're just saying that to end the conversation. They actually don't believe you. They're too deep in their thought and their beliefs. Like how many, and I do think that the media and the stuff that we see as well is controlled, right? Because my news feed on social media will be different than many. We see a lot of stuff about, the vaccine injuries and what's happening. And I bet, and I have an assumption that if I go to, somebody that's on the other side of the fence and look at their news feed, they've never seen a single article of that. They really have no clue. And it's a control thing. And it's really scary and it's weird. Anyways, I just wanted to address that again, that we shouldn't be putting all our energies into converting. We should be putting our energy, especially in 2024, into action and doing what's best for us and moving forward, and our families and our kids and our futures and our incomes and our our food security and everything that we talk about. Anyways, with that, I yield.
Thank you, Frank. I agree 100%. It's about number 5, walk away. Okay, before I go, I just wanted to share in regards to the preparations for next Monday. Highly recommend you all join here. It's a powerful exercise. You're going to require a mask. Yes, it's a mask, but it's not a mouth mask. It's an eye mask. I will never ask you to wear a mouth mask, but it's a sleep mask. So if you have a sleep mask, then make sure that you have it with you. If you don't have a sleep mask, you can buy them. They're very inexpensive. You can get them at Shoppers, Winners, etc. And if you're not able to go shopping, then wear a scarf around your eyes. because it's an exercise that allows for the pineal gland to activate within your brain, and the pineal gland activates in darkness. So I recommend, okay, you have an eye mask, you're going to need definitely a glass of water to hydrate yourself, and you're going to need a Kleenex box just in case, because it can be an emotional release as well, a powerful emotional release that the body and your soul have been waiting for a very, very long time. And the Divine Mind Conversation is a powerful exercise that will assist you in showing how you can respond to any situation rather than being reactionary. And so it's the Divine Mind is the heart energy within you, and it is your subconscious mind that thinks in images. So if we're able to connect the two together, the conscious mind with the subconscious mind will show you what you need to shift and heal and change within you, so that if these moments in the physical reality show up, you'll know exactly how to be. It won't be where you're trying to think of, oh, what do I need to do? What do I need to say? It'll just be an automatic peace that's within you, an automatic calmness that's within you. You will not need to force them to see you in a different light. The question that was asked of me a while ago was that we are always wanting to be seen. We have a longing for others to see us and know us as we know ourselves, and to see us in a positive light. And so I was asked, how much energy do I put into trying to correct their ideas so as to be seen and known correctly? So this is what the Divine Mind Conversation does. It allows you to know yourself, even if another does not see who you truly are, if they are not able to see you correctly in the positive light. It's a really powerful opportunity for all of us to do the Divine Mind Conversation together next Monday. Okay, I'm just going to have everyone close your eyes, and as you are sitting and breathing deeply, I'm going to be sharing positive words so that you leave this conversation in a high frequency, okay? So just close your eyes, focusing on life force energy. So you're breathing into the count of 5 and breathing out to the count of 5. And just saying to yourself, I am relaxed and centered. I'm relaxed and centered. I love and appreciate myself just the way I am. I love and appreciate myself just the way I am. I'm now attracting loving, satisfying, happy relationships into my life. I'm now attracting loving, satisfying, happy relationships into my life. I feel happy and blissful just being alive. I feel happy and blissful just being alive. I'm always in the right place at the right time, successfully engaged in the right activity. I'm always in the right place at the right time, successfully engaged in the right activity. I'm open to receiving all the blessings of the abundant universe. I'm open to receiving all the blessings of the abundant universe. And so it is. Just stay here in silence for just a moment. And just feeling the energy that's alive inside of your body. And knowing that you have the power to transmute all dark and negative forces. Okay, you can open your eyes. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. Together we rise.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
So much
Save the
love.
Thank
chat.
you.
Bye.
Yeah,
Save
bye.
the chat. Save the chat.
Thank you, thank you.